Ooh. Let's do the time warp again.
Yeah.
There it goes. What are we doing
hello
today?
there, Internet. So today we're doing another challenge video. This is going to be sort of an iterative design video.
Also, hi,
so there's been a what?
We didn't say hi to the internet. We just jumped right in.
I said hi.
Oh, sorry. Hi, internet.
Yeah. So there's been some news recently about a flying car called the AeroMobil from from a Slovakian company.
Yeah, you showed me that crazy video.
Yeah. They've been working on this. Car that is also a plane for the better part of 20 years. In fact, I think going on 25 at this point. And so I decided, that seems like a Kerbal-y enough challenge. Let's see if we can make a flying car. How hard could that possibly? Kerbal-y. It's like apple-y. But yeah, AeroMobil. It's been getting a lot of news recently. People have been talking about it like it's a big revolution in transportation. And I guess nobody else has made a flying car yet, so they definitely got that going for them.
So here's the question though, how do we differentiate a flying car from just like a plane?
So the thing about the AeroMobil is that it has wings that fold away and it can be driven on it's street legal is the big thing.
Okay.
So that's my eventual plan for this. Right now I'm just doing basic concepts with a fixed wing aircraft because we want to try and minimize variables. So I have you notice I put rover wheels down on all parts of this instead of landing gear.
It looks pretty big.
It's pretty big. Yeah, I don't have a good scale of what a Kerbal car is here.
Yeah. Well, you got those ones that are kind of driving around the back.
I got those ones. Those are big trucks. So basically, if I can, my basic
beep beep.
Yeah. So our first test is running into some problems as the rover wheels really don't want to be used like landing gear.
No.
And it decided to break off.
Well, no. Bail out!
Fortunately, the vehicle was only going like 20 meters per second, and most of that was downwards, so no real problems.
Wait, why aren't you using landing gears then? If you want the rover wheels to work like landing gear, why not just use landing gears?
Well, because I wanted to see if I could... Because the thing about the AeroMobil is that it actually uses, like, car tires.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't have separate landing gear than a plane.
Well,
it just uses basic wheels. So I'm just trying a lot of different configurations here to see if I can use the rover wheels as landing gear. Turns out no. So we go to a thing that's similar to the AeroMobil still, in that the rear wheels are I think the rear wheels are actually free moving, so all the power actually comes from the front wheels, which actually is not dissimilar to a normal car if you don't have four-wheel drive. So we have the front wheels as the rover wheels. The rear wheels are landing gear that are designed to be used in a plane. And one of the other problems I ran into here is that this vehicle's really back heavy because all the fuel's in the back, so it's really hard to balance the wings properly.
Is there no way to more evenly distribute the fuel anymore?
I'd have to add another fuel tank to the front. The problem is the cockpit isn't as heavy as the fuel tank is. So you notice we're going a lot faster now, but then we run into some problems.
Yeah.
The vehicle decides to veer wildly off course once it gets above a certain speed. So I decided to expand the landing gear base to prevent rollovers. And that seems to cause it to happen earlier.
Yeah, whoop. It's like a shopping cart. You know the one.
Now I have a landing gear on the front that'll fold down eventually.
Okay. Those wings don't look like they're going to lift the vehicle at all.
No, in fact they don't.
Okay.
They do not provide a good enough lifting surface, and this thing ends up in Davy Joe's locker.
How did it explode on the water?
It was going like 70 meters per second, which is fast. Let me see. I don't remember meters per second.
Just tie a bunch of balloons to it.
It was going 156 miles per hour. So now we have a much bigger wing surface, and hey, we're actually generating lift when we take off now.
Sweet. Now land it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be the fun part, isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh, you're,
Yeah, no, the thing that I realized is I didn't really construct much of a tailplane on this vehicle.
Oh, no.
It has yaw stability, but it doesn't have any rear lift surfaces. So it doesn't want to pull up too good. So we bail out.
By the way, are you gonna say anything about rear lip service?
No.
Okay.
Were you?
Oh, no, I wasn't.
So I decided to dump some fuel out of the back of the vehicle to make it lighter to see what else we can do here. And you notice we actually are a little bit more stable now.
A little bit.
The vehicle still wants to wobble a lot, and I'm pretty sure that's because I don't have much of a rear tailplane.
Well, all of your vehicles wobble, though.
Yeah, but this one wobbles more than most. And it's because I don't have a lot of extra lift surfaces because I'm trying to go minimalist on the designs here. And this is about the point where I realize I probably need a tailplane for this.
Yeah.
As it's not even maintaining good yaw control.
But hey.
But yeah.
Those
you know
guys
what?
look like they're having fun on this Disney ride of death.
Yeah. Otherwise known as Space Mountain. So we kick off the power and we come in for a landing.
I've never been on Space Mountain.
I've been on it once. I know there's a special thing you can go on where they will. There's a special version of Space Mountain because normally, this thing isn't flying again. But hey, it didn't explode. That's a significant improvement.
It's still a car.
So let's see. Yeah, so we changed things up. Instead of the girders, I decided that the smarter plan here would be to affix landing gear to rear wings so that we have more lift surfaces. And then, because those can still act as support. Now, you're gonna see me fighting with the landing gear a lot here. One of the nice things about the B9 aerospace landing gear is it has an alignment indicator. Because one of the things I discovered is the vehicle kept flipping over because the landing gear were not properly aligned. And it's really fidgety. Like you want to be like completely on target, but it really doesn't want to do that because it can only shift by 2 to 3 degrees at a time, and usually it's not.
It's not the 2 to 3 degrees that you want. You want it like 1.5 degrees, and it goes 2 degrees.
Yeah, and so it keeps going back and forth between like 2 degrees off on one side and 1 degree off on the other side.
I get similar frustrations with Photoshop sometimes.
Yeah.
This is looking pretty alright, though. It looks solid.
Yeah.
But it looks a little bit more like a plane than a car at this point.
Yeah, well, I put bigger wings on, and I attempted to deal with. I put too much angle on the wings, so scrap that one.
Never happened.
Never happened.
You didn't see anything.
Didn't see nothing. So we're designing a
great internet.
You didn't see nothing here.
$20 says you didn't see nothing.
It's amazing. Again, we're fighting with the landing gear a lot here. Eventually, I just decide to attach some some struts because I realized that the landing gear will be perfectly aligned if I attach it to that. I just didn't want to because I didn't want to add another failure point.
Struts. Hey, sometimes you gotta fail to succeed.
Yeah, that's life.
That is life. Take it from us, internet. Sometimes you gotta fail to stop failing.
So every step along the way, this thing looks progressively less like a car.
Yeah, and more like a space plane.
Yeah. But hey, the nice thing about it looking more like a plane is that it flies a lot more like a plane.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So we're gonna do a test run of this. We're gonna take it up to about 2,000 meters, and then we'll pull around and we'll come in for a landing.
Is it making brake noises in the air?
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird.
I must have. Yeah. I guess I messed up the audio tracks. Oh well.
Oh.
Now it's on record, so I can't fix it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to point that out.
Actually, no. I know what happened. It at some point during the ascent, because I sped up the ascent, it landed again. and then I had to take off again.
Oh, okay.
So that's what the sound was. So we glide into a nice landing here.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Less nice. Less nice. Maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here. The thing really wants to turn backwards while it's braking.
Huh. Yep, there it is. There it went.
Okay, yeah, not quite a successful test, but we're getting there.
Well.
This thing has ended the least exploded of all of our vehicles, so that's a movement in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then we drive it back, because, hey, it's a car.
Didn't we do this in an earlier video where we had to go rescue someone from the Arctic?
Yes, we did. Although we were using steerable landing gear then and just using the jet, we made a rocket car.
What's the difference between a rocket car and a flying car?
Well, the rocket car was a space plane that had a single landing gear in the front, and it didn't have any means to propel itself other than the jet engine on the back.
So it would not be road safe.
It would not exactly be road legal.
You'd have to really stay out of its no zone.
Although that said, there was a guy who discovered that there are actually no laws against adding a functioning afterburner into your car. In fact, you can see pictures of this. He turned a Volkswagen Beetle, or he installed an afterburner into his Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, how'd that go?
It actually worked. He's a full engineer, and he just took a jet engine, and you could only put 2 people in the car.
You were headed right for the yep. That's what I figured.
Yeah, so it turns out you can't land on the rover wheels. Turns out if you try to do that, they just explode.
You were back in the air with the force of that explosion.
Yeah, we bounced. That's the nice thing about crashing a Kerbal Space Program, is for some reason you tend to bounce.
Because gravity is less, I guess.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's the same.
Newton's third law, I guess. So I noticed that we tend to spin around, but our landing is actually stable. It doesn't break.
You just have to allot for extra space.
We just have spinning. It's just our sick J-turn landings. So we add some infernal robotics hinges to the vehicle, so that we can actually fold the wings away, and actually assign these 2 keys, which I never do in any of our other games, because most of the time when I do an infernal robotics thing, it only has one use. So we fold the wings out, we activate the quantum struts, which make up for a part that doesn't exist in Kerbal Space Program. And so with the wings folded out, and we're also taking off with the rover wheels. We will not be landing on them, given our past testing.
We learned.
So we're going to try landing in a different place this time, so that we can prove that this thing can land on surfaces that are not perfectly flat.
Oh, all right.
So we're not going to go on a terribly long flight.
Are we ready for that?
I think so. We've been able to land successfully on flat surfaces.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, I'll give you that. Successful in that no one died.
Yes.
Maybe not successful in that we haven't lost the bit of the plane and it hasn't spun around.
We've done it a couple times without losing the plane.
Not the whole plane, like a bit of the plane.
Well, no, we've done it without. We've just spun around a couple of times and not lost any pieces actually. So if it can land here, it can land anywhere that you could conceivably land.
I think you're going to drive straight into the mountain face.
Well, it couldn't do that, but a normal plane couldn't do that.
Would you call it driving? Would you call it driving if you were driving a flying car? Should you be driving in the air?
No, it is flying, because we have a word for that.
Sorry, sass camping.
That's what they call me. So we're actually coming in pretty straight, and hitting some hills and an upward incline. We don't seem to be running into too many problems, actually.
Not bad.
Yeah. Bizarrely, this thing is landing better on this hill than it does on flat land.
I don't think it's that bizarre. You know, it's kind of like a gradual thing. And the gravity is helping slow you down.
So now we decide to fold the wings away and fold the landing gear away, and we're going to drive this back to the base.
Oh, sweet!
But that's going to take, like, way too long.
Because you gotta go around the ocean.
You gotta go around the ocean, and it took us, like, 11 minutes to fly out here. So, yeah, we're just skipping that because I don't think any of you guys wanted to watch a car drive for, like, 40 minutes.
Beep, beep! Well, why do people like racing?
Because it's a sporting event.
Yeah,
and people like sports. So, since we had a successful test of our flying car, why not make this into a space car?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not, though?
What's the worst that could happen?
Could you take it to the moon and drive it around?
Well, let's see what happened here.
Okay. Oh boy. It doesn't seem like you'd be able to break the atmosphere.
Well, I installed the Rapier engine on it, which is the one that can convert from a jet engine to a rocket engine.
Uh-huh.
So it just needs to build up enough speed and get high enough.
I mean, like, you got a lot of fragile parts on it. Seems like those would, you know, maybe not make it. Jeb is having a great time.
He always has a great time.
And Bill
forever.
looks really unsure about this.
Bill is unhappy because Jeb is happy. But you notice we're really building up speed. We're up to 1,000. We're up to 1 kilometer per second.
It's pretty cool. I'm still worried about the
28 kilometers high
overall structure.
And now we're up to 1.3, 1.5 kilometers per second. Climbing to, let's see, our apoapsis is actually out of the atmosphere.
Oh, you made it. Wow. That's beautiful.
But we're on a suborbital flight, though. We didn't have enough fuel left to actually create an orbit.
That's okay.
So we decided to fly around our car, because why not? We got
Ghost
some
ride
time
the
in
whip.
space. You know, like the winner of the Ansari X Prize, like that guy only did a ballistic trajectory and demonstrated it by throwing a bunch of M&Ms in the air. Turns out this thing does not have great re-entry profiles, though.
Oh no!
And immediately goes into a flat spin.
Uh-oh. Even Jeb looks worried.
Yeah, he's got an expression that, well, you know, he's smiling again.
Oh, okay, there it goes.
So yeah, we just go straight into a flat spin. Cannot recover from this.
This isn't good.
No. And we might have been able to recover from it if we had any fuel in the engine. But no, we don't have any way to actually, like, throw ourselves into a particular direction.
Wait, if we're out of fuel, how are we gonna drive it back?
Well, the motors are electric.
Oh.
And it's got solar panels on the top.
Okay. Nope,
So,
there's that ground.
We bail out. Turns out also that the Vanguard parachutes has a fast command that's supposed to release all parachutes at once. Turns out in the new version of Kerbal Space Program, that command doesn't work anymore.
Oh no!
So I had to manually activate everybody's parachutes.
So Bill got whiplash.
Yeah, no, he's not happy.
He's alright though.
Jeb's doing fine though.
Yeah, as always.
So he runs out to meet Bill as they stare at the smoldering remains of the space car.
We were in that, you know. Yep.
So it's, what did we learn here?
What did we learn? Good.
So, that was the attempt at the space car. Until next time, good night, Internet.
Good night. That's good.